Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back here to today's edition of Intuitive Angling, and man, I really appreciate you guys coming by the channel to check out the video. Always very grateful for that. And guys, today we are going to discuss the upcoming decision that everybody's waiting upon from Bassmaster and MLF on the rule changes they're going to have for 2025 regarding Livescope. This is going to happen. It's not an if, and, or when. It's going to happen. The only thing that's debatable is what change is that going to be. And guys, I can tell you right now, it's going to be one of two things. I've been right on about it. You know, I hate to be right about this all the time, but I've been right about everything they've done so far. And I'm going to be right about this as too. Well, you can come back and fact check me on it probably in about 2 months from now. But there's one of two things that are going to happen, neither of which are good for the sport. So we're going to go over into that in today's video. Also, guys, I just wanted to extend a big thank you out there to everybody that's been supporting Intuitive Angling here. You guys hear me talk about this every day, but thank you very much if you've taken time to hit that subscribe button, and especially if you guys are using all the links I put in the description. All you guys that are, using the Tackle Warehouse link of mine in the description and all the other things, you're really the reason this channel's on YouTube. So really appreciate that from me and my family. Okay, guys, the buzz has been for the past 6 months that Bassmaster and MLF, they don't want to do anything about it, but they've got to do something about it to some extent because of the outrage they're having from their viewers. People are sick of it. They're fed up with it, but it doesn't really matter how fed up they are with it, as long as they're getting, millions of dollars from the electronic companies. They don't care if people are outraged or not about it. It's like, let them eat cake type of a thing. But anyway, it's reached the boiling point, to the point where they're going to do something. I mean, this is inevitable. That the announcement's probably going to be coming out, within the next month or so. But there's going to be two things that are happening. Mark my words on this, guys. Two things are going to be happening with this. Neither one of them are any good. Now, the first thing that they're going to do, it's going to be one or two things, and one organization may do one, the other organization may do another. The first thing that they're going to do, they're going to say, okay, guys, we are going to limit the number of screen inches you can have. In other words, like right now, you've got a bunch of these guys, they've got 6 units on the boat, and there's no telling how many feet of screens that they have on their boat. So I think that, well, in fact, I know they're going to try to place some type of limitation on the number of screen inches. In other words, instead of having 3 units up front, maybe they're going to limit you to 2 units up front. And on top of that, they're going to limit the number of Livescope transducers. Like right now, there's been a trend amongst the hardcore, tightly umbilically cord connected anglers out there to Livescope and forward-facing sonar, is they're putting forward-facing sonar transducers all over the boat. They got them pointing out the sides, pointing out the back, pointing out the front, every which way. So they're probably going to limit the number of Livescope transducers on the boat. Guys, this doesn't mean anything. It's like, it's not even a half measure. It's like, just because you don't have 5 Livescope transducers on the boat, if you still have 1 Livescope transducer on the boat, you're still going to be able to use a cheater box on your boat. It's not going to affect the outcome of any tournament. Every tournament, you're still going to see the same thing. You're going to see, on Championship Sunday, you're going to see 4 dudes on the split screen with their head down like that, looking at their back, looking at their cheater box, even with 1 Livescope transducer. Not going to make any difference if they got half the screen inches. So from that standpoint, the probable reality of that happening is highly likely, yet at the same time, it's going to do nothing. Every single negative aspect of spotlighting for bass will still be intact. And it's not going to work for them. They're going to maybe try that, one of the organizations, but it's still going to be the same thing. There's going to be no effect. The next thing that's going to happen, one of the other two, it's going to be one of these two, or maybe both, is they're going to schedule the tournaments where half the tournaments are, you can use the cheater box, and half the tournaments you can't use the cheater box. Again, this is nothing. This is another not even a half measure, because it's basically saying we're going to allow you guys to legally cheat in half the tournaments, but you can't legally cheat in half the tournaments. It's still going to color the outcome of the tournament, and it's still going to take away from everything that we've talked about with it. Now, the likelihood of one of these two taking place are about 99% in my opinion. The other 1% is that the tournament organizations actually do the right thing, which they haven't. I've never seen them do the right thing yet, so I don't hold any hope out, and that they totally make forward-facing sonar illegal in tournament fishing. Bassmaster and MLF say we are not allowing forward-facing sonar in tournaments. That is the high road to take. That's the best situation. That is the most honorable situation. That's the most responsible decision the tournament directors or organizations can make. But they're not going to do it as long as they're getting subsidized by the electronic companies. So here's a solution that I'm going to offer up to the tournament organization, so you guys can pass this along to them if they want to, along with the other people who need to know. Here's how you get, right now the electronic companies have their foot down on the neck of the tournament organizations. They do. That's why this is legal. In order to get that foot off their neck, if the lure manufacturers and some of the retailers out there would get together and say, look guys, we are all going to chip in, and we are going to essentially sort of become an alliance to sponsor the tournament organizations, and we're going to give them more money than the electronics or companies are giving them, but we want forward-facing sonar banned from the tournaments simply because it's killing tackle sales and other lure genres out there. That is a reality of the situation that more than likely would work better than anything, as far as if we really want to get rid of this, which we really need to get rid of it. And it ultimately, even if that happens, it sort of sucks that it had to happen that way, because basically the tournament organizations still aren't doing the right thing. They're still making their decisions based and influenced upon money. But you see that all the time. I mean, you see big corporations buy out their competitors all the time, and then, get rid of that competition. That happens all the time. That is one likely scenario, possible scenario. But anyway, guys, that's what's going to happen. Mark my words with it. It's going to be 99% chance, one of those two, the first two that I mentioned, 1% chance that they ban it, and then they're subsidized by the other tackle manufacturers out there. But anyway, I guess at least it's a tiny baby step. It's a tiny baby step, and at least they're acknowledging the outrage instead of ignoring the outrage like they have the last couple of years. So maybe if they take this, it's not even a baby step. It's like a centimeter of a baby step in the right direction, and do this, and then they see that doesn't work because the tournaments are still getting dominated by the cheater box. The same group of 20-year-old flat brimmers are still kicking all the experienced hammers butt because they're expert at Nintendo game fishing. When they see that that's not having any impact, maybe they'll take the next step. Maybe they'll say that, okay, you can use your cheater box in practice, but you can't use it in the tournament. And then eventually that will still not be enough. And eventually at some point we can work to get this completely banned from the tournaments and put it in the hands of the fish and game managers. Guys, I'll tell you right now, Livescope and forward-facing sonar, it's incredible technology. I'm not denying that. But so is a nuclear weapon. But that doesn't mean the public should have them. Forward-facing sonar should only be in the hands of the game agencies, the game and fish managers, to monitor the fish populations. That's an excellent tool for that. It doesn't belong in the hand of the sport anglers or the recreational or the tournament anglers out there. We've all seen why. We've talked about it over and over again. But anyway, keep an eye out, guys. Over the next month or two, you're going to hear about this. Then we'll come back to this video and we'll see if I was right or wrong on that, and be curious to get your guys' opinion on this too. So talk later. See y'all.